Hello, this is an Adobe Illustrator project that is working with After Effects, and the student is going to actually take a typed word like this. Watch how in Adobe Illustrator I'm going to select this with the direct select tool, and I can hit the T key for the text tool, and I can highlight this text here. I could take this and just highlight this and change it into any other letter. You can see how easily I can do that, but I'm going to put it back to the R. And then I could click between the two of them if I wanted to, and use the Option or Alt left or right arrow to actually range kern the letters together to get them to be a little bit better in their flow and their evenness. Like, look at how this whole thing here needs to move closer to the D, and I'm going to do that by going like this, and the student actually wanted to combine the letters like this. So right now it's a font, okay? So I'm going to back out of it, and I've already got it kind of prepared for the bottom here, and I'm going to marquee this whole thing again, make sure I got everything, and I'm going to hold Command Option or Control Alt, then the Shift key, and bring it down here so I can make a duplicate copy. Okay, that makes a duplicate copy. Now I'm going to convert this to outline paths. So over here in this here, you're going to see how this is the word Daryl. See how let me make that panel option a little bit bigger so we can just see it. It's small right now. Okay, now let me make this layer palette bigger. Okay, see how this is just one piece of text? Let's go to Type and Create Outlines, which is Shift Command 0 or Control Shift 0. Okay, now I've made it into outline paths. Okay, now I want to do something so I can join the letters together, because this is going to be what we call a write-on effect in After Effects, where if you look at the outer part of the letters, there's going to be a laser beam that actually writes all this together here. And I'm going to show you the word Brian before I'm done, how Brian writes the whole name Brian by going around where my icon is here. So we have to cut and maneuver this and put it together to get this thing going. Okay, so here's what we have to do. Right now I have a fill with no stroke, so what I'm going to do is just make it a stroke with no fill. Okay, now I've got it all like Daryl had it down here, but I'm going to just work on this one right here. Okay, so I'm going to back off of this for a second and put this one, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm going to put it down here. I'm going to select this one again, and I really don't want this Daryl to get in my way, so I'm going to put it up on the pasteboard, and I'm going to now work on this Daryl. Now let me make the stroke itself very thin, about maybe 0.5 of a point, just so it's just there. Now what I have to do is create or remove. Here's what I have to tell you. If I cut this part of the A off, and I cut this part of the D off, and I want to join a point right here where the D comes up and comes down, I won't be able to join the D into the A because both of them are compound paths. Okay, that means, and this is a quick definition of a compound path. So I'm going to take the L key and make a quick ellipse. I just want you to see something. So there's a quick ellipse, which I'll just make a fill, and I'll just color the fill something different just so we can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so there is a fill. Now I'm going to make another one. So now I have two of them. I'll color this one a different color just so it's a different color. I'll make it smaller. What is a compound path? Well, a compound path is, a compound path is when a little shape is on top of a big shape. And I want to take the M key for a rectangle so you can also see something, and I'm going to color this a different color here, and I'm going to send this to the back. It's Control Shift left bracket to send it to the back. Okay, you can see down here I could have just dragged it down. Now why am I showing you this? I'm going to select this green inner circle, I'm going to shift select the red outer circle, and I'm going to go to Object, Compound Path, and Make. And what it does, it gets rid of, doesn't get rid of, let me put it this way, it turns the inside shape into a negative shape, allowing you to think that you see through it. Now I said that right, you actually do see through it. Okay, but the shape is still there. Let me, in the direct select tool, let me hold Command Option so I can select this inner shape. Watch how I can move this away. See how I can actually grab it and move it anywhere I want? It's a real shape. See how it's actually a fill? Now the green turned into red, but that's okay. I can even move it out here. Look, now I have two shapes. But this is a negative shape once it's placed over the positive shape. So I'll Command Z back 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So now I have a compound path. Well, the problem in Illustrator is you can't join 2 compound paths together. Whoops, I grabbed that one because it was not high enough. So let me delete this. Now let me tell you what I'm talking about. In order to join and cut these letters, I have to select them all and go up to Object Compound Path and release them. Now, if I were to fill all of this, watch, there's not going to be a hole left where the D is. If I were to go like this, it's just going to be all filled in spaces. Now, when I'm finished, if I have any compound paths left, all I do is click on the little shape, then I click on the big shape, and then I hit Command or Control 8. See how that actually makes a compound path? Then the inside shape would look like a hole. But I'm going to Command Z back because I now need to do my thing where I'm cutting and joining these together. Now that's an art all by itself. So I'm going to take it. I may go inside this new group. See how I have all these individual shapes. Notice I didn't say that they were letters. So what I want to do is to place points on the D first. So let's start with the D. I'm clicking it right now. I'm going to take the P key and I'm going to add a point right here where that wants to join into that one. Now, the reason why it didn't add, let me see if it's going to add now. Okay, it added now. Now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to add another point to here. Didn't do it again. Let me click here and see. Okay, I'll have to do it up a little bit higher where one, if I would have locked up the A shape, the outer A shape, see if I would have taken this and just locked it right there, I would have had no issue adding that point. Now what I want to do is click in the middle here and delete that point. Now I could have used the C key to do the same thing, which I'll do on the A just to show you a couple of things here. Okay, now again, joining letters together is kind of an art, as I said. So let me lock up the D shape for the moment and unlock the A shape. Now I will take the C key, which is the scissors tool. I will hold the Command key and click on this, and then somewhere about right where these two want to join, I'm going to cut that letter. Now let's go over here. Look at how this letter comes down and it wants to join right there. I'm going to cut it right there. Now I'm going to hold the Command key, click on the part I don't want, and hit 2 deletes, not 1. I have to hit 2. 1, 2. Now I want to join these two together in the best way I can. There's an art to this, as I said. Now sometimes when the points are right over each other, you can just Command click this. Now I could align those 2 points together. I could take and align them together with the Align palette. There's so many ways I can do this. Let me bring the Align palette over. I can align these anchor points to go higher right there. I could take them and align them now on this right here. Now, but let me Command Z back. But that's not what I really want to do. I don't want to destroy the original letter shape. So what I'm going to do, to the best of my ability, is take that letter right there. I'm going to take the P key, I'm going to hold the Option key, and I'm going to rejoin in, not letting go of the Option key, and I'm going to pull out a handlebar right like this. Now watch what happens when I take this and put it up above here. Look at when I hold my pen over that point, it turns into an O. That means it's going to join it. Now it's actually joined these two shapes together, only because I removed the compound path. Now I didn't have to hold the Option key on this, but now look, I have a point I don't need. Now what I want to do is just hold the pen over this point. Let me get it as big on screen as I can. Hold the pen over this point and subtract it. Now do you see how I kind of ruined that shape? So what I want to do is get another set of handlebars from here. Hey, I didn't say this was easy. If I hold Alt or Option, Alt on a PC, Option on a Mac, I can get the Convert tool. Now I'm going to move closer. I want to pull out 2 new handlebars. Now this handlebar is actually for this part. I'm going to leave it up high and I'm going to try to maintain the integrity of this bottom shape I'm really looking at this handlebar here as I was moving this one. Now if I hold the Option key and go back to the Convert tool, look at how I can reconvert that and get back that point, and now look how I can maintain my beautiful curve. Boom, and now I have that joined together. Now I'm going to do this so many times that we should actually be able to see what it is that I'm actually doing. So here I have two separate points. I'm going to move this one up a little bit higher. This one had belonged to the A. Okay, so I take the pen, I come down like this, and I hold Option and I pull out a handlebar. Now I go find this point, let it turn into the letter 0, or the little 0 on the bottom of the pen, and pull. Now on this one, because I didn't let go of Option, I'm holding Option the whole time, I actually converted the handlebar at the same time. Now look at how sweet that curve is. Okay, but I now probably don't need this point right there, so I'm going to have to delete it. Watch, I'm going to delete that. Let me get as big on screen as I can. Okay, I want that one to show, so I'm going to move this down. I wanted both of these to show. Why? Because I want to delete it. Now, do you see what I did there? I actually ruined the curve. So I have to hold the Command key, grab the handlebar, and now just bring that handlebar back up and restore the curve back where it was. Now I've joined the D into here. Now, in order for the laser to write correctly, it has to write across this way and cut these letters here. So I need to join this into this. I'm going to take the C key and do this as quick as I can. I'm going to click here with the C key and click another one right about here, hit 2 deletes. I'm going to go over to here, hold the Command key and reselect this. Oh, I have to hit the A key. Go back to here and let me, I must have locked that. I think I locked it. Yes, I did. So I have to unlock that. Okay, so now I'm going to go back here, select this, hit the C key here. C key stands for scissors. Click here, and now I'll cut here. And now I don't want to hit delete again because it selected the wrong thing, so I'll hold the Command key in the Direct Select tool. I'll click this one, and now I'll hit 2 deletes. Now, let's join this together. Now, the geometry between this one and this one isn't very pretty, so I'm going to have to make it work. Let me move the layer palette over. So I'm going to take the P key, and I'm just simply going to look at how if I'm not holding any key down, I can join back into this one, and then it'll turn into a circle, and now look at how I've got it joined. But now there's bumps on this one. So even though I just put this one in, I'm now going to remove it. Now look at how I can hold the Command key, grab this handlebar, and reestablish a pretty good set of geometry here, and I have to keep those handlebars parallel, and now look how clean that looks. Excuse me. Now I want to join this one into that one. I want to curve this point a little bit right here. So I'm going to drop it down, hold in the pen tool, hold the Option key and pull up a little handlebar. Now go over here and let go and just pull a curve out of it. Come over to here and I'm going to hold the Option key and pull down, and look at how I'm going to curve that one. Now I don't like what I did there, so I'm going to pull this one down a little bit and then recurve it like this. And you see how these handlebars here are not joined, meaning this one and this one? I want to rejoin those handlebars. How do I do it? I hold Alt or Option and I pull out 2 brand new handlebars, and look at how I've now cleaned that whole thing up. And now I really should pull all of these down a bit. So if I click this one, shift click this one, shift click this one, and shift click this one, I can pull that whole thing down a touch. Now I've joined it in, and now the laser can write all the way around. Now we have to do the same thing here. So I take the C key, click, I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to go way over to here and cut this one. Now I'm going to get rid of this piece by clicking it and going boom, boom. Now I want to cut this one in 2, well, I don't have to cut it in 2 places. Watch how cool this is. I can just click this line segment right there and hit delete. Now I've actually cut it. Now let me move this one over just a tad. Let's join these 2 together. So take the P key, Brian, pull out a handlebar, go over to here, pull the handlebar again. Let's delete out this one, And now let's just hold the command key so I can get back to my direct select tool, and look at how I've made that work. Now let's put this one down here. Let's hold option, or actually don't hold option, because I want the handlebars to be joined. Now let's go over here, and I'm not going to hold option. What happens when I hold option? I'll tell you. I convert and split the handlebars. If I don't hold option, look, the handlebars are together. Do you see how neat that is? Now I can kind of replace the geometry, and now I don't like the kink that happened right there, so let's figure out, okay, that one never had a handlebar, or it did, and it's way down here. See where the handlebar is right there? That handlebar is way down here. I want to make it a little bit up higher. I'll show you how I do it. I'm going to add a point to that line right here. By adding that point right there, do you see how it made that handlebar shorter? And now I can just round that off and move it over a little bit. And then I can hold option and put the handlebars back together. That's how to sweeten up the curve. If you hold option, you can split handlebars. If you hold option back in the point, you can join handlebars and make them joined back up. So in one case I convert it away, in another case I convert it back. Does that make any sense to you? Okay. Now we've done the D and the A. The D is cut, the A is cut. We have to join the R together. So here's where I can just click that segment and get rid of it. I can click that segment and get rid of it. Now I have to get rid of some of the longness of this A. So let's click and put a point on the A right here. Let's put a point on the A right here. Now if I click that point and hit 1 delete, whoops, if I re-click that point right there and hit 1 delete, and then click away and then click back and hit 1 delete, I now can join these two together. Now the geometry is not going to be very pretty. So how do I join it together again? I don't hold anything down. I just click and pull out a handlebar and then join. Now look at how awful that is. Let's click and pull out a handlebar and then join and pull out a handlebar. Now I don't need this handlebar, and I probably need this one. So just by getting rid of that handlebar right here and pulling this one over a little bit and then making this handlebar longer, look at how sweet that curve is. Now, do you know what to do here? It's pretty simple. That point isn't needed right there. So let's just take the pen tool and subtract it. Now let's pull out this handlebar and look at how I can now grab this one. Now do you see how that handlebar is split from the one that is its partner? Hold the option key and grab it, and then you can or the alt key, and now look at how sweet that curve is. Let's do the same thing on the L. So on the L here we need to add points. So let's take the pen tool and add a point right here. Let's add a point right here. Now let's take this point and delete it out. So I added the point only to delete it out. I could have just, oops, there was one more right there. So I didn't need to add that point. I already had one there. So I just deleted that one out. Now let's take this and let's click a point right here, or I'm going to Command Z back. Let me take the C key and cut this one right here and cut this one right here. And now if I take the direct selection tool, I can hit 2 deletes. 1, 2. And I'll say 2 because the points were open. Now let's just join these together and figure out which ones I have to get rid of. Okay, without holding any key down, you just click and join. Now I probably don't need this one anymore. Boom. So do you see how I did that? And I don't mind that hard curve. That looks good. Now let's go over here. I have 2 points very close to each other. That can kind of be dangerous. So I'm going to pull 1 point away. See, that was easy. So let's click and pull a handlebar out, and let's join by going like this. Now, I don't want the one I just put in, so subtract it. Now, let's go back here and see if I can fix that curve. Now, this whole curve here is trying to be a curve with only one handlebar. I would like this point right here to have a handlebar going this way, but there isn't another handlebar. So where a point only had one handlebar, you hold the Option or Alt key and you make it have 2. Now look at, by pulling 2 out, you've ruined one of the curves. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just move it up. Whoops, sorry. I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to Command Z back. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to back off of it. Now what I want to do is I want to hold I zoomed out because I want to do this. I want to pull out two handlebars, but then I want to use my Illustrator skill to match up that bottom line. Do you see how I'm matching up? Don't look where I am up here. Look at the bottom line. Boom. Do you see how I maintained this curve? Now, without letting go of the Option key, I am going to grab this handlebar and convert it. Now that one line segment, which only had one handlebar, has two handlebars. Now I've made it pretty. Now let's go back. This is a really bad curve right here. So watch what I can do here. If I hold the Option key, I can pull out two little handlebars. See how nicely it made that curve on the bottom? Now, whoops, my finger didn't do something. Now, we need to either move this point over, or I can guarantee you these two handlebars are split here. All we really need to do is join them together. So how do you join them together? You hold Alt or Option, go back in the point and pull out two handlebars, retwist them. I'll leave it short for now, but look at how I'm matching up this bottom geometry. Now look at how sweet it made that curve. Now I'm going to actually flip from the Option key back to the Command key or the Control key, and I'm going to move this up so that now I've made that curve a little sweeter. See how I did that? Now right over here, I probably don't need this line segment. That's kind of just redundant. It's not, there's no reason why this one has to be here as well. So let me see which one we don't need. We probably don't need this one, so I'm going to get rid of it. Boom. Now let's go over here. We probably don't need this one. Let me just get rid of this one so it's a nice curve like this. Okay, that actually looks good, but now look, we probably don't need this curve, this point. So I'm going to get rid of it. Let me close the Align palette. I'm going to get rid of it by going like this. Now look, all I have to do is go back and hold the Command key and grab that one handlebar and pull up. Now if these handlebars weren't connected right here and here, how would you reconnect them? You'd hold Option, go back, I'll even do it with you and for you, hold Option, and let's now re-put the one on the bottom. Look at how even though I'm on top, I'm actually controlling the bottom handlebar. Now let's go back here and grab that handlebar which got really weird way up there and just put it back where it wants to go, right about there. Now let's come up like this. I don't remember if that was up a little too high or whatever, but I think that looks good. Let's pull this one around like this and go like that. Now let's do the same thing here. We have to cut this letter here so that we can do our thing, okay? And we might want to round this one off. I don't know, that one's fine actually. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to cut this letter E first, or the whatever one I'm going to cut. I'm going to take the C key and I'm going to cut, what letter is that? The Y. So I'm going to click the C key here, click the C key here, and now I'm going to hold the Command key and click this one and hit 2 deletes. Now let's cut this one right here and right here. Now I have a point right there, so actually I'm going to cut it right on the point because I didn't want to make another point. Now I'm going to click the line segment between them right there with my Command key and the Direct Select tool and just delete it. But don't delete, actually delete twice right there. Now I have to join these together. It's going to make a bad looking point. So just take your P key, find that handlebar, click and join. Now remove that one. There, see how easy that was actually? Now let's go over here and do the same thing. Let's click, let's join, now let's remove. Now I need a handlebar coming from this point. See this one handlebar? It's not enough for this curve. We need to make it pretty. So how do I do it? I hold the Alt or Option key, I pull out a handlebar, I just concentrate. Look at how I had to flip them to put this one back in position right here, boom. Now without letting go of the Option key, I now pull this one down and look at how I have a sweet curve. And it all depends on where this one came through visually. I think I have a nice curve there. Now let's come up here. You have way too many points here. And this point might not be joined. So what we need to do is figure out, nope, that one was joined nicely. Let's see if this one's joined. Yes, that one's joined nicely. And let's see if this one's joined. That one is not joined, and that's why there was a bump right there. So either I don't need this one, or I need to put these two handlebars. Look, the handlebars are not together. This one and this one. So how do you get them together? You hold the Alt or Option key, you pull them out until they're pretty. We'll put this one, I have to Z back because I have to back out. This is what I mean by replacing the geometry instantly. I'm going to maneuver this line. I'm going to connect the handlebars. And in connecting the handlebars again, like this, look at how I have a little bit of a chance to back out of it and replace that geometry right now, and now I haven't hurt this part of the letter E. It's easy now to fix the other one. I just hold the Command key down in this case, and I move it up. And now look at how I've replaced it, just a minute, right there, and I've made it kind of okay. I'm going to actually pull this one out and shorten it a little bit, and then I'm going to pull this one out and shorten it, and then this one doesn't seem to be a nice piece of geometry right there, so I'm going to kind of grab it and move it out a little bit farther, just so that makes a sweet piece of geometry. There's 2 points real close to each other here. I'll just keep them because it doesn't make a bad piece of geometry there. This one is not looking good, so what I need to do is shorten this one, and I pretty much have this now where that is a pretty decent piece of geometry. Let's now move this one in and move this one up. So you can custom fit these, and now Daryl is completely cut. Now I have to, okay, this is where I have to figure out, I already know what I'm going to do here. I have to actually cut this here or somewhere, because this inside letter has to be, notice how, and I'm going to say this right, notice how there really is only one path. By cutting the little part of the A out, one path actually forms all the letters except for, and I didn't really realize it, the L. So what we're going to do is go to the bottom here, and I'm going to take the C key and cut this one here and cut this one here, right about there. Now I'm going to hold the Command key and get rid of these 2 points. Now let's do the same thing to this one. So basically all that stuff I just told you about, I don't know, I probably didn't even need to do it. But it's fine, just because it gives you practice. So let me cut this one here, and let me cut actually right about here. And now I'm going to hold the Command key and click this one and go boom, boom. Now, my goal is to join this one right here into this one right here, which I've done a fairly decent job on right there. Now let's join this one here into this one here by holding the Option key. And now I want to move this one up and give it a little bit of some pretty geometry. This one needs to actually pull out a little bit and come a little bit out farther, and now that geometry is not bad. I have way too many points down here, so I'm going to subtract that one out. Now I can actually pull this handlebar, and there is a sweet curve, which is pretty darn nice. There's a little bit of a bump right there. I need to fix that bump a little bit out farther. Okay, let me grab that handlebar, and now that should be okay. Maybe this could pull a little closer to here just to give it a little bit more custom fit. And now look at how one line, one complete line, the bottom of the A looks funky right there. That looks really bad. I just need to pull out that handlebar and give that a little bit more roundness. And this one is not looking that good right there, so one of these has to go. It's going to be this one. Let's pull out that handlebar and round that off there. There, that looks good. So too many handlebars, this is a joke, too many handlebars spoil the curve. That sounds like a little rhyme. Okay, so the least amount of points with together handlebars, or Bezier handles as I should be calling them, works. Now Daryl looks really good there. Let me make this come back up, and now if I am now ready to bring this back into After Effects. So in a second I'm going to show you what this actually does, but it's actually going to say the word Brian. Okay, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, as promised, I think I'm now recording again, but as promised, here is the Brian. So it comes in and it writes the word. Look at how it's one complete word all the way around. It's called the laser effect in Adobe After Effects. And I think that's pretty good. Okay, so I'll play one more time. Look at how it comes in like this. Now I'll stop it and I'll bring up the Illustrator word, if I can find it, for Daryl, and Daryl would do the exact same thing. So this one path all the way around, as long as it's one path, look, I'm moving it, it's one path. The path, just so I'm reminding anybody who is actually using my Adobe After Effects tutorials for this, the word Daryl has to be cut in one place and leave it cut in one place. So somewhere, like where would I cut the word Daryl? Wherever I wanted it to start from. Because if I didn't cut a little space out of Daryl, it would actually start in After Effects. It would start at the very end. So I'm going to choose to have Daryl start right here up in the corner. Okay, so I'm going to take the C key, excuse me, I keep on doing that. I'm going to cut a little tiny space out of that, hit 2 deletes, and now look, that actually tells After Effects where it's actually going to begin. So it's going to begin either this side and write this way, as a person would actually start writing their name from this side. Instead of having it write from the L backwards, it's going to write from the D forward. So that is now totally ready. And again, if you want to go to my laser tutorial movies on my YouTube channel, that's exactly where this one should be. But thank you. Hope this helped.